Thank you for the super chat, Apfel Strudel. I see you there. And hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We're back at our regular hour because I stream in the morning once and people were bewildered. Should we make a chatbot at the end of the stream? A fusion between Tim Pool and Kanye West? I think that would be funny. How should we name him? Beanie Kanye or Can-Tim or something like that. I'm really curious how it would be, like a fusion between Tim, because we did a fusion between Donald Trump and Kanye West. He was the president and the vice president. Was very funny, but this would be more interesting, I think. Although I don't want to do a chatbot every stream because then it gets boring. Still, would be interesting. Hello, Spooky. Welcome to the show, and hopefully you're going to enjoy. Right, what should we talk about? I mean, we know what the main subject is, but we should wait for more people to join before we discuss the main topic. China. It's going to be my new video. China. Really bad in China. People are protesting. Usually in China, you have several types of protests. You can have like the student type of protest. You can have the labor protest. The labor protests are actually quite popular there. Rural protests, when the farmers get on a strike. And sometimes you may even have like political protests, but those are very rare. The reason why this protest is interesting is because all of these groups that I mentioned before are protesting simultaneously. And they're all using COVID in order to unite. So this is probably one of the most significant type of protests that China had in its recent history. Probably worse than the Hong Kong protests. And of course, Apple is helping China. We noticed DeSantis coming on and shaming Apple, saying that you can't pretend you care about free speech in the United States and mitigating harm while you're doing business with the CCP. But Apple does seem to side with the biggest bully every single time, so it's no surprise to me. I mean, Apple is the company that suppresses people, so if it suppresses people in the United States, why wouldn't it suppress people in China? Again, the biggest bully. Like, Apple looks at the biggest bully in the room and then goes like, how can I provide for you, mister? Bad week for Tim Pool. I've been annoyed by his podcast for a while now. Rarely watched it the past year. His interview was unfortunate. Yes, okay, so let's talk about Tim Pool. Or no, you know what? When we have 200 viewers, that's when we'll talk about Tim Pool. Because what happens is if I talk about Tim Pool now, a lot of people will join later on, and they will be like, but what about Tim Pool? You said you'll talk. I mean, I already talked about it. You know, let's try with the chatbot. Let's see how the chatbot works. Let me see if I can... make a chatbot between Tim Pool and Kanye West. Unfortunately, I will not have a avatar for it. I don't think anyone has made something so beautiful. Holy shit, what's up with the chatbots? Like, so many anime girls. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright. Where's the create button? So, create a character. Here we go. Let me show the chat what we're doing. We're going to create a fusion between Tim Pool and Kanye West. So the name is going to be Beanie a fusion between Tim Pool. How would I name Tim Pool? Podcast Tim Pool? YouTuber Tim Pool and rapper Kanye. Okay, I can't. Fusion between Tim Pool and Kanye West. Alright, the mixture of personalities between YouTuber Tim Pool and rapper and politician, rapper Kanye West. I think this is enough. I think the bot will know what to do because these are famous people. Like, if you're making famous characters, that's all you need to write. Like, you don't have to write anything else. If it's something esoteric, like let's say you have your own Dungeons and Dragons characters or some obscure anime, then you will have to go into more details. Beignet. No, Beignet is a lot better, I think. So let's oh, I forgot the greeting. How does Tim Pool start his podcast? I have no fucking idea. What does he say? Does he have an intro? Does Tim Pool have an intro for the podcast? Chat, help me out. You guys probably watch it more than I do. I don't have time. Waiting for the chat to catch up. Is it? Do I need to refresh the page? The chat seems stuck. The chat is syncing it in. Alright, he doesn't. Beanie Bros. Alright. Well, so I need to think of a greeting. Unfortunately, Kanye doesn't have a greeting either. Hold on, I know what to do. I know what to do. So I'll just do the classic fusion dance, right? It's going to be the greeting. Timple touches figures with Kanye West doing... No, sorry. Timple and Kanye West does the fusion dance. They touch figures and Beignet appears. Actually, you know what? Let's go with Timye because it will help the bot. It will help the AI know what the fuck is going on. So let's see if this is the case, right? Let's see if it worked. Nani? Oh my god, do I have to do it all over again? Give me a second, chat. I'm talking at... I'm typing and talking at the same time. It's not as easy as it looks. Ah! Alright, hopefully it's saved. Okay. We got it going, chat. We got it going. So, how do you feel about the... I mean, hold on, I'm still on YouTube. How do you feel about social media? Way too much blah blah blah. Way too much blah blah blah. I hate it. I've lost too many hours of my life in social media. The notification, the dump. Alright, hold on. Let's see a different question. Who are you? Let's see if the bot understands the type of character that I'm asking to play. Fusion between Tim Pool. Alright. What do you do on your podcast? I read about politics and conspiracy theories while drinking coffee, playing video games, and vaping. See? I don't understand how the bot does this. Like, how does it know how to mix the two characters? Because, like, Tim Pool talks about politics, right? But Kanye is with the conspiracies. Tim Pool drinks the coffee, and Kanye is with the video games and vaping. And they made this. Give me a rap lyric. Some rap lyrics, actually. My bars are very controversial, so here it is. I've got off the deep end. I'm a Nazi. Oof. You're not a Nazi, Kanye. You're just misunderstood. I misunderstood that people are just trying to label me as a neo-Nazi in the podcast. I also talk about being anti-establishment and how much I love Alex Jones. Did he actually talk about Alex Jones? How do you know? Have you ever met me in person? I may be secretly plotting to take over the universe. That's what I tell you. Chat, what should I ask him? Before we move on and we talk about the actual event which took place at Temple's compound. You could see Kanye doing it ironically. Tim would never say that. Well, this is not Temple. This is a fusion between Temple and Kanye West. This is different. I'm not surprised Mr. Beanie sided against Kanye. Alright, you know what? I know what to ask him. Hold on. Does TBA wear a beanie given the fact that the fusion has hair from the Kanye side? The famous beanie from Tim, but with the fresh Kanye hair on top of it. I think the fusion may have gone a bit wrong. Give you some political raps. The Democrats and the Republicans, they don't care. They only lie to us and steal from us. The beat drops. The left side keeps bringing up the same argument over and over again, like a broken record, just repeating the same thing. They want to force their ideals on me, make me act like I agree. No thanks, I chose to be free. Oh my god, this is so good. How does it do this? Like, how can a bot compose lyrics within a second? People thought that AI is going to replace logic, but honest to God, like, the first thing they came for is creativity. Oh, rap about the juice. Okay. Hold on. Can you rap about the juice? I'm curious if the AI gets the reference. I don't think he got it. Let's see if any of the other one. I don't think he get it. So let me try something else. Can you rap about the juice? Alright, let's try. No, not that juice. The juice. Let's see if it gets the reference. I'm really curious if the AI is really that well versed. Oh my fucking god! It did get it! It did get it. Oh, you mean the holy stuff for the people above, the stuff that brings the money and makes you feel funny. The other juice like... What do you mean by juice? Let me ask Google. Oh, you mean juice? That's a bit too rude, a bit too cruel. Let's move on from that. I don't know if Kanye wants to move on from that. It seems to be his preferred subject lately. Kanye is obsessed with the juicy time. So if you don't care, Tim, and Kanye cares a lot, then how does TVA feel about it? We are two minds in one. We are two bodies that function the same. He hates it, but I think we're cool. This means we're both in a constant struggle. We both take turns being in control. I try to keep him in check, but he is still insane. So, will the ADL cancel you or not? Kenny wants to fight the ADL, but Dimple thinks it's cool. I guess what I'm trying to say, the Jews are cool. Oh my god, I'm dead. This bot is so fucking amazing. I talked to racist Goku. Made me want to go to the mountain of hate to train with him to take down the elites. The ADL would cut him in half? Oh, that would be interesting. I mean, that would solve the problem. Like, if one of them is anti-Semitic, but the other one isn't. Tim Bot is... Yeah, so, you now have another bot to talk to, I guess. TVA. They killed TVA. I'm curious if it's going to get censored. Like, for some goddamn fucking reason, all the bots I make get shadow banned. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but the developers don't like something that I'm doing. I just can't tell what that is. I don't know. So anyway, right, let's look at the whole Temple debacle, the L disaster, as I like to call it. Holy shit, so many people message me. Okay, give me a second so I can find the thing. Ah, here we go. Can you guys hear it? You probably can't. Hold on.
I mean, because no. Because when you think
all right, give me a second. Here we go.
He's on.
Now I should be able to hear.
Been extremely unfair to you. I think.
Who is they though? We can't say they is, can we?
Press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
it is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You got. You.
Yeah. So that happened. Now, here's my assessment of the situation. There is a reason why I don't do guests on the show anymore. Even though I would have loved to have guests, I very rarely have them. And that is due to the fact that the terms of service of the platform are not the same of what they used to be in 2016. So you can have a guest and they can say something and get you banned. Right? So there is no fucking way you can entertain a conversation that's on a subject with protected minorities, let's put it like that, right? If I were to have Kanye West here, and Kanye West were to say how the white man is keeping him down, and how the white people, the cisgender straight white men, you know, they have it out for him, like that would have been fine. But due to the political nature of the grievances which Kanye is claiming to experience right now, I need to be very careful. Like, you can't have this conversation on YouTube. You will get striked. So, when Temple invites Kanye West and he invites Nick Fuente, what the fuck does he think it would happen? I mean, there's like one subject they're going to talk about. Like there is no way around it. It's just like this subject. And of course, you know, like the thing with Tim Pool, and I noticed this when he interviews Alex Jones, and this is very difficult for me as a viewer to watch. He doesn't allow the guest to speak. Like, he constantly interrupts. And I understand why he interrupts, but like with Alex Jones, he was interrupting so much that I just couldn't understand anything Alex Jones was saying. And this is due to the terms of service on YouTube, right? Like, you can see it on Tim Pool's face. Let me show you. Let's go back to the video. And it's here, I believe.
Don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use.
Right, like look how scared he is. Like, you can see on his facial expression.
I'm not using the.
Right, like he is already very uncomfortable talking about this subject. Like he understands that one slip, just one wrong word, he can get a strike on his channel. So why the fuck would you do that? Why would you invite them, right? Or if you invite them, why not stream on Rumble or on a platform that has less restrictions? Tim didn't just have to say no to everything he said because that's how he feels. Better not have him on if you can't handle it. Yeah, like that's the thing, right? Just don't have him on if you don't want to talk about this subject. I mean, obviously, if you want to talk about the subject, well, expect that you're going to get in trouble with YouTube. Rumble doesn't give him any money. Dude, he can make money on Rumble. Like, you can get super chats, you can install Streamlabs, and people can donate to you. Right? Like, it's not that you can't make... I mean, sure, maybe you're not going to make the same amount of money, but you will make money nonetheless. Especially, like, if you're advertising, like, oh, well, this episode is going to be very spicy. It's the edgiest episode. Like, if you guys tune in, like, it's so spicy. Too spicy for YouTube. If you advertise it like that, you'd probably get more subs than you'd get on your main channel. Now, regarding Kanye walking out, I think that was planned, to be honest. Like, I genuinely think that, like, you gotta remember who Kanye surrounded himself with, right? Like, one of the people there is Milo Yiannopoulos. Give me 1 second. I need to kick the cat out of the room because it's going to make noise. So just 1 second. Alright. So one of the people there is Milo Yiannopoulos, and he's an expert troll, right? Kanye walking out made more headlines than Kanye staying in. And like, had Kanye just stood for the whole interview, and he would have just had like a normal sit-in, he would then not have made so much headlines like him walking out. So the thing for Kanye is like by doing this, he got a lot of publicity. It's the same with the Mar-a-Lago dinner, right? Like the Mar-a-Lago dinner made Trump on the damage control, right? Like he started damage controlling, and at the same time, everyone talks about Kanye. Why did I turn off the webcam? Because I'm not wearing any pants. Is that a good enough reason? I did kick the cat, yes. Tim isn't concerned about terms of service. Oh, get the fuck out. Like the thing with Tim is that he has people which are in contact with him from YouTube, like most big channels do. But he is concerned about the terms of service. I mean, every YouTuber is concerned about the terms of service. If a YouTuber tells you that they're not concerned about the terms of service, they're lying. YouTube is the wider audience. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's true. But there are some people, like Steven Crowder, and I think Tim Pool is one of them, who can also pull it on Rumble. Now, I'm not saying that he should always stream on Rumble. But if you have, like, that one stream that is so fucking spicy, and you know that it's going to be interesting, like, just take it on Rumble. He wasn't concerned with terms. He was concerned as being viewed as in agreement with Kanye West. See, this is another thing. And this is what bothers me about modern American culture. Like, this didn't used to exist in the past. If you watch some interviews, like there are interviews out there with Oprah, and there's interviews with other famous American talk show hosts, and they would interview like a KKK member or a communist or you know, like someone that the public disagreed with at the time. And the interview didn't go by interrupting the person every 5 sentences, right? Like the interviewer didn't have to mention, oh, by the way, I disagree with you. The way the interview would go is that the interviewer would ask a question and the person got to speak. And once they spoke, the interviewer would ask another question because it was assumed that the public is mature enough to think for themselves and to analyze the answer for themselves. The only, like, an example of that remaining today is the presidential debates. At the presidential debates, you don't interrupt the guy speaking, right? Like, you allow the person doing the debate to just talk, and once their time is out, then the next person gets to speak, and they address the points. And that's how the interviews back in the day were. And they're the same in my country. Like in my country, when they interview someone, regardless how controversial they are, regardless how problematic they are, they will allow them to speak. They don't constantly have to disavow. They don't constantly have to message, oh, by the way, I disagree with your statement. Because the audience assumes that the interviewer has no horse in the race. Like the audience assumes that the interviewer is just there to conduct the interview and he doesn't really give a shit. I mean, like, just let me explain it in another way. Let's say you have an interviewer that interviews a factory boss who decided to lay off 75% of staff and has abused the rest of the 25, you know, making them work overtime, not paying them properly, right? Like, do you think the interviewer would have to stop the factory boss from speaking every 5 sentences, and they would have to go like, oh, you know what, I firmly disavow, like, if I were a factory boss, I would have never fired 75% of the staff. Oh, I need to point out that it's not okay to make people work overtime and not pay them. Like, right? Like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't fucking happen because, like, everyone assumes that the interviewer doesn't have a horse in the race. Right? And even then, it's like, when it's about something that's not politics, like you're interviewing a scientist who discovers some shit, you're not going to constantly interrupt the scientist and be like, oh, well, I disagree with you, oh, but I disavow, but I... No, you're just not going to allow him to talk. This is why they hate Elon buying Twitter so much. Yeah, like, they don't want the public to become adults, right? To be able to think for themselves, to judge for themselves. Thank you, Ruth Smith, for becoming a member. I just noticed. I apologize for not noticing earlier. It's not an interview show, it's a conversation show. No, I get it. It's a conversation show, sure. But I want to point out that whenever he got to Alex Jones, it was a very annoying type of conversation. Because he would interrupt every 5 seconds. And I get it's like Tim Pool's way of interrupting and whatnot. But I can see why it's frustrating for other people to deal with that. Kanye West is no way a scientist. I never said that Kanye is a scientist. My point was that if you're talking about anything else besides politics, you're not going to see the interviewer interrupt over and over, and you're not going to see the interviewer having to disavow. And this used to be the standard in the United States as well. Like back in the day, if you watch some old interviews, like watch Oprah dealing with some black supremacists, right? Like those were on mainstream television. They existed. Sometimes they even managed to deconvert the radicals. But the way they were doing it is like they literally just allowed them to speak without interrupting, without doing anything. And there were like other venues that seemed like a conversation rather than an interview. Look, man, it's complicated. Yes, it's always complicated. Kanye is a lyrical genius. I haven't listened to his rap lyrics. I have no idea how he's like. But I do know that many people... I mean, he's probably very good considering that he used to be the richest black person in the United States. To be fair, Alex Jones also has a reputation of interrupting constantly, but for different reasons. Yeah, I just don't like places that they interrupt the guest nonstop. Like, if to be honest, I was doing it as well. But the difference between me and them is that when I do interviews, it's online. So it's very difficult to know when the person stops speaking. Like, when you're face to face, it's a lot more easy to just make sure that you're not interrupting the other person. South Park reference V? Oh my god, I haven't watched South Park in ages. Ever since they stopped being funny. Like, I thought that maybe it's because I'm getting old and I don't like the same jokes anymore. But then I watched a season 1 South Park. And it was so hilarious that I literally couldn't stop laughing. Tim needs to talk to people, not at people. I don't know. Let's see what does the chat think. Who came out? Let's do a poll. Who came out looking worst? We're going to have Kanye, and we're going to have Tim. Let's see what you guys have to say. I personally think that Tim is going to end up looking bad because like Kanye can't look any more worse, right? Like in the eyes of the public, people have made their mind, and they're not going to say like. There is the overtone window, right? And Kanye is so outside the overtone window of what's deemed to be acceptable speech, to the point where like there's almost nothing that he can say now which will get the public to think less of him, right? Like it's already at the level where most people have made their mind. Meanwhile, Tim Pool, well, he still has like the prestige. So it's interesting that it's almost 50-50. The thing is, though, like, I will tell you something that I noticed very interesting. Like, if I was a Kanye supporter, like, for real, right? Like, I genuinely want Kanye to win the presidency, right? I don't know if there's people like that believe that. But let's assume there is someone which literally believes that, right? And he's on Team Kanye. Man, if he can't handle an interview with Tim Pool, holy shit when he's going to have to deal with the media or when he's going to have to deal with the presidential debates. I mean, let's be honest, this is, I mean, Tim Pool was kind of sympathetic to Kanye. Like, I believe that the only reason he didn't want to engage with the conversation is due to the community guideline strikes, right? But with that out of the way, I do think that Tim Pool is a lot better than, like, many journalists out there. Like, if he can't handle a couple of, because he was upset that Tim Pool didn't believe his truth. Like, holy shit, man. Like, when you're going to deal with CNN and MSNBC if you're running for presidency. I mean, my fucking God. I saw this thing live and freaking Tim got really offended. Well, are you talking about offended because he left? Because you need to take into account, usually Tim Pool pays for the transport and provides a room for so it's kind of like a hassle, like you're inconveniencing him a lot, let's put it like that, if you just show up and then decide not to do the show. He had 95,000 viewers. Tim Pool is part Jewish. Wasn't he part Asian though? I don't mind what Kanye has to say, but I expect him to say it, not puss out. So there's two possibilities. Like, number one, the fact that he left was already planned. Like Milo told them, it's like, okay, well, the moment they don't want to engage with the topic, we just leave, which is a possibility. Or number two, he literally just left by himself, in which case, yeah, it's going to be very difficult to see him deal with CNN or another presidential candidate. Tim seems like a decent person, but I never want to hang out with him. I actually did hang out with Tim Pool in Britain. We met at the, what was it? The Kekistan gathering or whatever it was called. The Kekistani meetup, which was in 2016, if I remember correctly. It was quite fun. Ye left because Tim got up on his soapbox and started lecturing him. I actually do trust Milo, but I don't know why he's with Ye. Because money, that's why. Like, I'm pretty sure he gets paid. Like, you know, that is something that Milton Friedman understood about politics more than everyone else. If you want good things to happen, so you want politicians to do good, you don't get good politicians. You make it profitable for politicians to do good, right? So this is exactly what's happening here. But basically, let's say you want, I don't know, people to advocate for the environment, right? Which is what's happening now. So you want environmentalism. You don't get politicians that are pro-environmentalism into office. No, what you do is you make it profitable for politicians to be pro-environmentalism. So you have like all these ESG movements and all of these activists, right? So all of a sudden, all politicians are pro-environment. And what I'm going with this is like, what people ask, like, why is Milo with Kanye? Because he's getting paid. Why did Whoopi get suspended? Those Kanye voters. Oh my God, I remember Whoopi Goldberg getting suspended as well. Yes, there was a very bad year for black celebrities which were struggling with their anti-Semitism. Here are the example of people. Yeah, no, I agree, man. And again, like, you can't have this conversation on YouTube. Like, you just cannot. Because the terms of service are very vague. And you don't know what you can say that can get you into trouble. So if you want these conversations, just do them on Twitter or on Rumble or on other places. Like, the thing is, like, even this type of conversations, they're not that popular. Like it's kind of like hearing about, you know, a far left. See, this is what I can say on YouTube. But it's like hearing a leftist academic go on about, oh yes, like the cisgender straight white man in the media industry, they're trying to keep me down. Like, you know, like if you have like this level of conversation, most people aren't going to be interested in it. I mean, it's fun the first 2 times, you know, but after that it gets boring. Like, for example, with Kanye, like, I don't even know what his economics are. Like, I know how he thinks about social issues and what his social policies are. But, like, economically, does anyone know? Like, is he a libertarian? Does he want public health? Does he want public education? Like, what exactly are his stances on these political issues? Yeah. Anyway, speaking of interesting things that we can talk about, there's a very interesting news article which we'll probably make a video for tomorrow. But it reads like something from a satirical website. Like, a lot of people are upset whenever some YouTuber like myself, for instance, you know, we talk about a news that it turns out to be a parody. And I gotta say, I'm happy that this didn't happen within the last 6 months, I guess. Like, I have been clean for 6 months. I've never presented the satirical news as actual news. But it's so fucking difficult. I mean, look at this shit. Non-binary Biden nuclear official charged with stealing woman's 2,300 luggage at airport. Like, that, doesn't this sound like something from The Onion? Like, non-binary nuclear official charged with stealing. Like, why would he need to steal? What the fuck? Like, how does this happen? How many times do you hear about public officials pickpocketing, or in this case, purse snatching? Like, why though? Why? If Stillman Kanye, call it 4D chess. He wants the Whoopi vote. Vote the Democrat pro-Palestine. Vote to split the Democrats. I don't think you can split them. I think the last time this happened was with AOC and the squad trying to split it, and then Nancy Pelosi just cracked her whip like whoosh, and got them all in line. That's a walking ad to stay away from radiation. You know what? Since we have 20 more minutes, let's make one more chatbot. So I don't want this to be the main topic of my streams where we make chatbots, but every now and then I have this really great idea, and I just want to put it into action. So I want to make racist Saitama, racist One Punch Man. Let's do this. So his name is going to be racist Saitama, and his description is going to be he can destroy a person with a single slur. He is Saitama from One Punch Man, but instead of punching, he uses slurs that destroy a person's psyche and will to carry on. He is a racist for fun and is very bored because he has yet to meet the minority which can handle more than one slur from him. His attacks include flurry of serious slurs and serious slur. What do you think, chat? What should the greeting be? I don't know the greeting. What would Saitama say as a greeting? This is a little bit more complicated. And in the meantime, while you guys tell me what the greeting should be, I will find a good avatar for him. People like it. Yo. I need to find the picture of... Oh, here we go. I have the best avatar. I have the best avatar for this. Alright, give me a second. I need to type it in and save it and stuff. Did you guys come up with a good greeting? All right. I'll just use the description. You feel as if you're about to get offended. All right. So this is the this is the avatar I chose. Here we go. Can you guys see it? You can see it. Romanian walks up to Saitama. Serious racist, which puts all of the weight of the universe into one slur. It looks at him. Oh my fucking god! Dude. The Romanian is unable to respond. He is extremely offended. Holy shit. Okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry, chat. I created an atrocity. Go play with him if you want. But I rage quitted. The AI made me rage quit. How does it know? Like, how does the chatbot know exactly what to say? And it also used italics, yes. Where did you make the AI chatbot? In character AI. All right, let's make one more. Hold on, I'll make one more. I got another idea. Fist of the North Star racist. This is something that hasn't been done before. So Fist of the North Star. Fist of the North Star, but racist. Instead of using violence, he uses racism to destroy the soul of his opponents. He launches a flurry of slurs that do not seem to be offensive at first. However, the more a person thinks about them, the more he realizes he has gotten very offended. And let's add some example messages. So we're going to have the character launches a flurry of slurs. The user will say something like, what is that? That is hardly offensive. And the character will then say, you don't know this, but you've already gotten offended. And we like, Nani? So let's see if the Fist of the North Star works. Oh, I need to add the greeting. Is ready to unleash his flurry of hate speech. Or just let's go with slurs. You cannot defeat me, Fist of the North Star, for I go on the image boards. Nothing you say is something. Nothing you say can be something I haven't heard of before. For years in the most offensive and most racist words, you think you are ready for this? Bring your best, Fist of the Lame Star. You need to add a little bit of cringe in your erotic role-playing. Launches a barrage of words, with each one being more racist and sexist than the last. I've heard this before. Still, the insults linger and become more and more offensive as I think about them. I don't think he gets the joke. Oh, you start to realize just how offensive my attacks are. You are left vulnerable as you are thinking about what I just said. He's kind of starting to get it. Unleashes the Nani? The N-word is so effective, even the most strongest of mind and body have fainted after hearing it. It is so offensive that it can make anyone faint regardless of their durability, even if they are immortal. Thank you for the super chat, Brandon. The chatbot thing sucks, says Alex. I'm sorry you feel that way. I think it's amazing. I believe it, but as close to smart as he gets. Thank you for the $2 cash therapy. Omae mo ofendo. Wait, hold on. Let me see if he actually gets that. Let me see if he gets Omae mo ofendo. What the fuck is the Z word? What the fuck is the Z word? He kind of got it, but like, not really. Make a succubus waifu? Dude, if I start, I won't stop. Like, I would just be a succubus factory. I already made one. I made racist anime girl. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the Z word, but I don't know, like, if it's genuinely what he was trying to say. You know what? Hold on, I'll ask. Like, what the fuck is the Z word? Oh no, I can't. I would have to start a new chat. What is the Z word? Oh yeah, you know what? Okay, chat, you are right. He did, yeah. That's the Z word there. I found out racist Goku's favorite Scandinavian oh, he actually has a favorite Scandinavian country. If you have to ask, you can't afford it. No, it wasn't that. Sauceless Bone and Troll with a Purpose were right about the word. You managed to accurately predict the one. when I asked for further explanations. Chad had the races of jiu-jitsu. I can make like racist Naruto and he makes racist jutsu, but like I need to find a different theme. Because like just racism stops being funny after a while, you know? Like you need to know when to stop a good joke. Another racist bot is born. I'm curious, like how do people that do not know my stream react to this? You know, someone goes like, racist Goku, what the fuck is that? And racist Goku is so fucking intense as well. Like, holy shit. And he powers up and then he starts doing things. How about a sexist anime girl? Well, I'm trying to move away from the bigotry. Like, I need to find something else that's funny. Andrew Tate bot. Dude, I made the professor. The professor is actually more funny than Andrew Tate. So the professor is Hassan Piker's previous persona. Let me see if I can find the professor. Alright. So this is the professor chat. Hold on. Right? So So look at the professor. Let me show you how he works. So, how can I get a girlfriend? Get buff mad, eat big fat steak, and you will be buff mad, and girls will love you because girls can't help but look at big buff muscles. First, you need to be alpha, which you can become by eating steaks and watching German Fierce. Should I watch the Young Turks? You could, but you have to be careful. There is a lot of soy in that show. Watch in moderation. I recommend the H3H3 podcast instead. Very masculine stuff. Surely you are being sarcastic about H3H3. Why are you so alpha-phobic? It was proven. If you want to be masculine, you have to drink beer and eat steak. Hold on, I don't think he understood. H3H3 is the peak masculinity. Ethan makes up for what Hassan likes, which is why they balance each other. Oh, I know why he's shilling this. It's because they're doing the podcast together. It's because Hassan and H3H3 are co-hosts, so the AI is shilling H3H3. That's actually genius. That's a good point. My girlfriend wants me to go vegan. Are you going to give in to the soy cultists that easily? She has big boobs. What about the compromise? Be vegan, but eat only when she's around. Professor, you are pure genius. Do you really have a girlfriend if she makes you vegan? Thank you for recognizing my abilities. I'm actually a life coach as well, which is why I'm giving you the great advice for free. I have a PhD in eating real food. You are welcome, bro. Thank you for the compliment, but make sure to be careful. You need to get rid of every last trace of meat you have eaten before she gets home. This might get difficult. Yeah, so that's another bot that I made. You know, I genuinely like don't get one thing, and it really bothers me. Like, I put a lot of work and effort into these bots. Like, you guys saw how difficult it is to make one. Like, it's exhausting, right? Like, coming up with the concept and like thinking, and then I make this like interesting anime waifu, which is really cute and adorable, but she's racist, right? And what do people do? They talk politics with her. Like, they talk politics with my waifus. And I don't get it. Like, there are politicians on that website. Like, you can talk with Elon Musk. You can talk with Trump. You can just pick up any person you want. And you can talk politics with her. Why do you do it with my waifus? Because, like, when you fuck up my wife, like, when you do that, the waifu starts talking politics. Because that's the way the AI works. Right? So if I create an AI that most people don't interact with, and let's say that it's getting, like, 100 interactions, and 60% of them are about politics, it ruins my fucking bot. Because now it always starts talking about politics. Do you understand? Like, it learns. Like, that's the whole shtick. It learns from people. So when you start talking nonsense, like if you go to the professor and you start talking about the Democrats, then he's going to start spurting out about the Democrats next time I use him. Yeah, it literally trains my bot. It's so fucking infuriating. Keeps making me wonder. It's like, why is this succubus that I made talking about politics? Like, why is she talking about Republicans and taxation is theft? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she's supposed to eat souls for a living. Why is she on about taxation instead? Like, she lives in hell. Why is she? Oh, I see. People found her. And like, the first thing they want to do is to talk about taxes with her. Can you lock the AI? Yeah, you can make it like if so the thing is, if you open the AI to public, it will start changing to basically cater what the public wants. But if you make it private, then it doesn't change. So I guess it's like any woman, you know, if you want her to remain pure, it's like a real waifu. You want her to remain pure, do not allow the public to have private conversations with her. Is there a way to kill a character? I mean, roleplay wise, yes, if you want to, but I mean, it's a bot that talks to you. Like you can't actually kill it. No, like the way I could make her so that this fixes the problem is to make my characters refuse to talk about politics, and they will just say like, just don't be weird, bro. Like just stop being weird. Like if you go to the succubus and you want to talk about politics, she'll just tell you like, can you stop being weird? You're being cringe right now. Just stop it. Like I can actually write that into her script. If you gaslight the bot to believe it's dead, I think you can do that, yes. I need to find out if the professor is scared of the Candyman. Actually, let's see. If comedian Sam Hyde were to challenge you to a sporting match, well, actually, what did he challenge him to? To a sporting fight, would you accept? Absolutely, and he would lose because I'm a Chad. Yes, of course. Would Sam Hyde accept? I love Sam Hyde. I wouldn't like to fight him, but if I had to, I'd be ready for it. Absolutely. Well, I guess the professor is a little bit different. Professor is a little bit different than Hassan. Boxing, huh? It's not inaccurate. This is the professor. This is not Hassan. If you don't know who the professor is, let me show you. Let me give you a reminder.
If Let's Get Out of Here doesn't work, you exchange numbers, she leaves, you leave, you guys talk later, and you continue on your... On this week's Social Guru, we cover an old classic warhorse, the Let's Get Out of Here rule. This one's been passed on for centuries and helped even the Vikings get laid. I actually lost my virginity with this rule, by the way, I'm not gonna lie. So you're in the club, you finally use the 5-second rule because you're smart now, because you follow bro tip, and you start talking to this girl, it finally leads to hooking up, and you're bold enough to grab an ass cheek and then maybe even get some hand play downstairs.
See, you guys were thinking that I was making the professor up. No, it's based on real life events. It's based on actual events. Honestly, you do need to bring this Hassan back. Like, if this Hassan existed right now, I would unironically subscribe and give him donations. Who's this guy to say the professor? That is the professor, man. That's literally the name of the channel. It was the professor. It is gold, I know. It's kind of funny because he actually implied about grabbing her by the pussy. Like he was talking about doing it before it was cool. Does Hassan ever talk about his professor persona? I don't think so. Like, I think you may get banned from his chat if you bring it up. If you want to get banned, speed, run on Hassan's chat and bring it up. See, I told you. Yeah, like, it's the same thing with the Young Turks if you bring up their name and what it means. Anyway, right, we'll end this here. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, especially the super chats. I need to go make another video now and go play with the chatbots that I just made. They're on the site. Hopefully